Hi, this is Dr. Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today. I'm in San Jose at the Search Engine Strategies Conference with Shari Thurow.
Hello.
Hi, and we're going to talk about article spinning and duplicate content. Now, what do you mean by article spinning in this context?
When a lot of people write an article, they want a great deal of article distribution, so they allow their articles to be published across different sites. But the problem is, if your article's published across different sites, then which article is going to show up in the search engines and which article is going to get the most traffic?
Okay, so how do you deal with this kind of problem?
Well, the first thing that's really important to me is I'm very big on being anti-search engine spam. So if I write an article, I want to make sure it's not plagiarized. So there's this really cool tool. I don't know if you've ever used it. It's called Copyscape.com.
Okay.
And you can take your article, and it's free, and you can take the URL of your article, URL web address, and you can put it in there, and you can see if people have actually taken your article and reproduced it without your permission.
Okay.
And you can also see if your distributors have also distributed the article. So it's really a handy tool for both checking your distributors and also making sure your article's not plagiarized.
Okay.
But one of the problems is which article is going to rank. And obviously, being the original author, you want your article to rank first.
And the version that's on your site, hopefully.
Exactly. So one of the things that's really important is to be proactive. I think most people don't realize duplicate content is one of those preventable things. So if you know who your distributors are, a lot of times ask them to link back to your original article and ask them to link back in a search engine friendly way. You know, ask them to link back with an article bio, like a little blurb about yourself. And I can remember, because you're like me, you're one of the internet originals. Ask people to, here's a paragraph, this is how you have to link back to me. If you have a contract, put it in your contract. And that will help support your article, and it will be distributed in a way that your article will appear towards the top.
Now, in that blurb, do you want them to point to the original article or to the main page of your site typically?
No, you want them to, it's better to do a one-to-one relationship, point directly to the article.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll be resistant, but if you really think about it, they have their own audience, and
right.
You have your audience, and it's just 1 + 1 = 5 in this instance, so it works out really, really well. So that's something that the search engines are actually looking for, which is the best article. So linkage properties, such as external third-party links pointing to your site, is very highly weighted.
Okay. Now, there's this new tag called a canonical tag. What does that do?
It's the best thing to remember about the canonical tag and things like nofollow tags as well is that they're suggestions. They're not written in stone. They're not the 10 commandments of Google.
The canonical tag, as I understand it, is it says on my own website, my URL, my domain name, this is the primary placement for this article.
Right.
So this really doesn't help you if you've got it placed on all these other websites.
No, not at all. If it's placed on other websites, it's not going to help you. But if you have multiple versions of your article on your website with 3 different web addresses, it can help. But
that's the only time it would help.
Yeah, but it's more of a suggestion, and I think that's what people have to realize, is that if you've architected your site well and you link consistently, that's going to have a greater impact than the canonical tag. So what I like to tell people about these tags that the search engines come up with is that you're suggesting these things to them. The search engines are always going to validate your suggestions.
Yeah, they're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Exactly. So
any other tips on making sure that your article is on top?
First of all, timing. Because especially with blogs, there's some search engines where freshness is not a factor. And people like to think it is, but it really isn't. So blogs is a type of search engine. The blog search engine spider is very sensitive to time. The news search engine spider is very sensitive to time.
So if yours is first, it's likely to pick up on it, is that it?
Exactly.
Okay.
So
any other tips?
Something as a tip for blogs is if you want to show up in blog search, your blog has to have more than one author.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know that. So,
Uh-huh.
so that's where it's really handy if you write articles to have a bio page. So a little blurb, a little bio about you as the author, and then every time you write an article, link to that article, and also archive. That's another big mistake that publishers make, is they don't archive. So what ends up happening is you have this article and you have links to other articles, and these other articles link back to the other ones, because as you well know, there are some marketing tips that are classic.
Sure.
They don't go out of
That's right.
style. And what if you suddenly take that article down, or your content management system, all of a sudden you have a dead page and your whole linking architecture on your own site just boom.
I have an article that goes back to 1999
Wow.
that used to be 23, a checklist of 23 web marketing tips or something. Now it's up to 38 or something. I keep adding to it, but I leave it the same URL because and the same title, so I want people to be able to find it again.
And I wrote something in 1997 called The 5 Basic Rules of Web Design, and I really haven't changed them, and I don't change that URL.
Right.
And I would never take it down, because it's that, if it's a classic, it's going to get links to it. So I think a lot of people, and that's the other way to make your article stand out more, is when you write an article, link to other articles within your own site. And then you know you wrote that article, so in future articles, reference that site. So
what's your final word to authors that want to distribute their content? What do they, if you have one tip to share, what is it?
I think the best tip of all the ones I gave you is an author bio page. I think it's very much overlooked. It's easily programmed, and people do search for authors by name, and you want them at your site. It's great if it's at other people's site, but ultimately you want them at your site. So an author page will solve a lot of those duplicate content issue problems.
Thanks so much for sharing with us. Tell me about your business and what you do, Shari.
I am, and my company, we are a search engine friendly design firm. And we specialize in search engine friendly design, optimization, website usability, and information architecture.
Very good. Thanks for taking time to share with us. This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.